Welcome to the Deep Dive. You send us your sources, we pull out the key stuff to get you up to speed, well, fast.
Yep.
Today we're looking at a YouTube transcript you sent over. It's called Secrets of Millionaire Mindset. Delete limiting beliefs to invite wealth into your life. Dr. YSR, that's from the Speaking Tree channel.
Right, and the mission for this deep dive really is to get past the usual, surface level money tips. We want to dig into what Dr. YSR says makes up a mindset that actually sort of attracts wealth and find some real practical strategies for financial well-being based on his ideas.
Okay, sounds good. And we've got our expert here to guide us through it. So Dr. YSR starts off strong, basically saying that getting anything done, especially making money, isn't just about doing stuff. It's fundamentally about, well, how you think. He really hammers home the mindset part.
Yeah, it's actually pretty striking how much importance he puts on it. He suggests mindset is like 60 to 70% of success, financial success included.
Wow, that much.
Yeah. The rest, he says, is down to your skills and your environment. It just really shows how critical that internal stuff, our psychology, is for our finances, which, kind of lines up with a lot of behavioral economics thinking too. These early experiences create biases.
Right, biases that affect our money choices without us even realizing it.
Exactly.
And he jumps right into the subconscious mind, which, let's be honest, most of us probably aren't thinking about when we're deciding whether to buy that coffee or not.
Precisely. Dr. YSR explains our subconscious, the part shaped by our childhood, our upbringing, really impacts our financial choices, like our spending habits, how much we think we can earn. He argues it's all rooted way back then.
He had some good examples, like the spender type.
Yep.
He says that could come from watching parents spend a lot. Or, and this was interesting, maybe from a childhood where you felt you didn't get things you wanted. That feeling of wanting. He says it can pop up later as overspending, kind of trying to fill that old gap.
That's a really key link, isn't it? The idea that what we missed out on as kids could fuel overspending later. It gives you a different way to look at why we buy things. And the flip side, the saver, often comes from seeing parents worry about money.
Oh.
Because you subconsciously link money with safety, with security, sometimes too much, so you don't enjoy things.
It's like those early days install a kind of financial programming in our heads. And here's a wild thought he throws out. Only 4 or 5% of our choices are conscious.
Yeah.
The other 95%, that's the subconscious running the show, according to him.
Which really highlights the challenge, right? If most of what we do with money is automatic, just making a budget might not be enough. It's like you're only dealing with the tip of the iceberg. We have to somehow get at those deeper patterns.
Which leads to something you might recognize, that push-pull with spending and saving. Spending big, then feeling guilty and clamping down really hard. Lots of people do that.
And that brings up that whole idea of long-term thinking versus instant gratification. Dr. YSR advises really working on prioritizing the future you, your future financial health, over that quick buzz from buying something right now.
He mentioned FOMO-based buying, that fear of missing out, which social media definitely doesn't help with.
Right.
But he had a cool counter, JOMO, the joy of missing out, finding happiness and not buying everything.
Yeah, JOMO. I like that.
Yeah.
But the main point here, I think, is self-awareness. He really stresses becoming conscious of your triggers. What situations, what feelings make you spend automatically? You identify those, you can start breaking the habit.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, he also gives different advice based on your starting point financially, which I thought was quite useful. He talked about people inheriting wealth versus those starting from, zero.
Absolutely. For those starting from scratch, he says step 1 is building that positive money mindset we talked about. Then focus on getting high-income skills that solve big problems, basically. Because that means more value, which means more potential earnings.
Solve big problems, get paid more. Simple logic.
Yeah. Then you earn, and then this is crucial, you invest. Build wealth over time, passive income, assets, that whole thing.
But what he said about inherited wealth really caught my attention. He talks about needing to feel like you actually deserve it. He suggests there's this subconscious trap where feeling unworthy can actually make people sabotage themselves, make bad money choices, maybe even develop addictions.
It puts a different spin on that old saying, rags to riches and back to rags in 3 generations. It's not just bad luck or poor skills. It could be this deep psychological thing, this feeling of not deserving it.
Right.
So Dr. YSR says if you inherit wealth, you need to accept it, feel worthy of it, and then actively work to grow it. not somehow feel driven to get rid of it.
Then he got into why money sometimes just seems to slip through people's fingers no matter how much they make. He called it money flow and said it works on 3 levels.
Yeah, this is insightful. It's like a whole relationship with money. He lays out these 3 stages: receiving money easily, keeping money easily, and giving money easily. Blockages anywhere in that cycle, he argues, mess up your financial health.
Like a cycle. Receive, keep, give. Makes sense.
Exactly. You need to be open to getting it, able to manage it, and okay with spending or investing it. If one part's blocked, the whole flow gets stuck.
Let's break down those blockages. A receiving blockage. He said that could look like feeling awkward talking about money or always missing out on good opportunities even if you're qualified. And that analogy he used, the fisherman with the tiny pan, loved that. Like you're limiting what you think you can even hold.
That paints a picture, doesn't it? How our own beliefs can just put a cap on things. Then there's the keeping blockage. That's like fear and anxiety about the money you do have, never seeming to hold on to it even if your income goes up, and those constant unexpected expenses that just drain everything.
Oh yeah, the something always comes up problem.
Exactly that feeling, like the universe is taking it back. And finally, the giving blockage, which isn't just about being stingy. It could be feeling guilty or regretful after you spend money.
Or always complaining about how much things cost.
Yeah, that too. Even if you do spend, if you feel bad about it afterwards, that's a sign the giving part of the flow is jammed up. Dr. YSR says the first step is just figuring out which of these might be affecting you.
And where do these blockages come from? He seems to think it's mostly those negative money beliefs we pick up, often from our culture, our family.
Yeah, this is where he really starts pulling apart some common ideas, things maybe we've heard all our lives without really questioning them, like money is the dirt on your hands. He points out, well, if it's just worthless dirt, why do we guard it so fiercely? It doesn't add up.
Good point. We treat it like treasure, not dirt. He also went after money doesn't grow on trees, pointing out the hidden message there is that earning money has to be hard work, a struggle.
And the big one, rich people are bad. He wonders if maybe that comes from movies and stories where the rich guy is always the villain.
Could be.
So he suggests actively looking for counter evidence. Find examples of wealthy people who are doing good things, who are ethical.
He mentioned people like Ratan Tata, Azim Premji, Narayan Murthy in the Indian context, examples of leaders known for philanthropy and integrity. It makes you think, good or bad is about the person, not the money. And I liked his line, money just amplifies who you already are.
That's a really sharp observation. Amplifies character. He also pushed back on stretch your legs only as far as your blanket goes, basically questioning why we put limits on ourselves. And then money can't buy happiness. He makes a key distinction there.
Yes, happiness, he says, is internal, but money can buy other things. Freedom, choices, comfort, convenience, even power. He notes you can be unhappy whether you're rich or poor, right? And that real happiness might come more from having purpose, not just cash.
Getting clear on that difference, what money does, what happiness is, seems really important. It lets you chase financial goals without expecting money to fix everything emotionally. Once you clear out those limiting beliefs, maybe wealth flows more easily.
Which kind of leads into the law of attraction. That can sound a bit out there sometimes.
Well, Dr. YSR tries to ground it more in how our brains work. He sort of demystifies it. It's not just wishful thinking. He talks about the neuroscience behind setting goals and focusing your mind. It's less magic and more about tuning your brain to spot opportunities that match your intentions.
Okay, how does that work neurologically?
He explains it like this. You set goals using your prefrontal cortex, that's your brain's CEO basically, for planning and logic. Then you visualize achieving those goals, feeling the emotions. That lights up your visual centers, your reward pathways, releases dopamine.
Ah, dopamine, the motivation chemical.
Right, and that dopamine hit reinforces the focus. Then he brings in the reticular activating system, the RAS. Think of it as your brain's spam filter. It starts filtering your perception, highlighting things related to your goals, things linked to that dopamine reward. Like when you decide you want a certain car, suddenly you see it everywhere.
Oh yeah, that happens.
That's your RAS tuning into it. Your brain is now actively scanning for matches to your intention. But, he stresses, it's not passive. You need focused intention and action. Beliefs, emotions, actions all aligned. Doubt, he says, really blocks that energy.
So intention primes the brain, action makes it happen.
Got it.
It's a more practical take.
Less woo-woo, more brain science driving action.
And lastly, he mentioned meditation for financial well-being. That might seem like a leap for some people.
But he connects it directly to decision-making. Those impulsive money choices driven by fear, greed, FOMO, he links those to the limbic system, the more reactive emotional part of the brain.
Right.
Meditation, he explains, strengthens the prefrontal cortex, that logical, planning, self-control part we talked about.
Okay, so meditating helps build up the part of your brain that can override those impulsive emotional reactions, giving you more control over financial decisions.
Precisely. But it builds that pause, that space to think rationally, instead of just reacting based on immediate feelings or triggers. Better self-control financially.
Makes sense. So, bringing it all together, Dr. YSR had some specific advice for young adults starting out.
Yeah, number one was cultivate an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. Believe there's enough, believe you deserve it. He even mentioned link resonance, basically. Your mindset attracts people on the same wavelength. Abundance attracts abundance.
Like attracts like, okay.
He also circled back to getting high-value skills, skills that solve big problems. Because money, fundamentally, is just a measure of value created. And finally, be intentional about your environment. Surround yourself with people who have positive attitudes about money, about growth, about investing. That whole, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with idea.
Right, soak up the positive energy. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into Dr. YSR's perspective, mindset is absolutely key. Our subconscious is running a lot of the show financially. We need strategies for spending and saving that go beyond just budgets.
Yeah, and knowing your starting point matters, whether building from zero or managing inheritance. We looked at overcoming those money flow blockages, receiving, keeping, giving, and how critical it is to identify and challenge negative money beliefs.
We also got that practical brain-based view of the law of attraction, intention plus action, and how meditation can actually build financial self-discipline.
So that leaves us with something for you to think about. Reflect on maybe one negative belief about money that jumped out at you today, just one. What's one small, really concrete thing you could do this week to start challenging that belief? To start building a more abundant and empowered money mindset?
Good question to ponder, definitely food for thought there.